Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday 6 p.m. Training call. And just a reminder, those calls are normally going to be on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and on Thursdays at 6 p.m. And we're doing Tuesdays an hour later because we're going to be having Matt Nouse come on probably about once a month. And being that he spends a lot of time in Thailand, that's going to be like 7 a.m. for him, and we just felt 6 a.m. was just a little bit too early to be getting him up over there. So I'm Mike Filsaime. I'm here with Matt Soralta. He's going to be just listening in just for the first few minutes. And how are you? And Tom Beal is here with us as well, and he'll be doing mostly the trainings Tuesday nights every 7 p.m. But today I'm going to be doing it because we're going to be focusing on some demo training as opposed to some funnel training or headline training and things like that. And I'm also joined in the room today by the lovely Donna Fox, and I see John Garcia just popped in as well. So just remember, I'm seeing it's a little lighter, Donna, than we normally have on our Thursday. So we should probably send an email to everybody as a reminder. Maybe I'll make a Facebook post and then we'll post in Facebook that there's a training. And if you want to maybe, Donna, post that there's a training right now and put a link in there, because we're probably about a third of the the people we normally have for the e-commerce. Okay, everybody. Thank you. So we be prepared for about a 2-hour training tonight. My goal is to get us out of here at 7:30. It's at about 7:30 Eastern. That's 90 minutes from now. But I'm sure that with the amount of stuff that I'm going to go over and any questions that we have, it may get a little crazy. So Tom, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you can, Tom, Donna, John Garcia, pop in anytime when I'm doing a demo. I encourage you folks to ask some questions. Tom, what I'm going to have you do is, or Donna and John, keep any questions that anybody has relative to, hey, can you show that again, or how to do this? If it has to do with the demo, great. If it's, if it has to do with something like, for instance, when is GrooveCell going to be integrated in Review Trust, right? Which might be we're expecting that to be hopefully by the end of the month, at the end of February. But if it's a totally unrelated question like that, that doesn't support the demo, like show us how to do that, fix the countdown timer, how do you make a circle button, that type of stuff, then we're going to maybe hold those off to the end. But feel free to interrupt if any, when I take a little pause or a break and say, hey, Mike, somebody just asked a question. How would you do this or that? If it serves a demo, I'll be certainly happy to do that. All right, so what we're going to be demoing today is how to use GroovePages and some of the key updates that have gone live with GroovePages, and how to use GrooveCell and some of the new features in GrooveCell. So there's so much to cover, so we're going to just jump right in. So the first thing I want to let you know, the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen, and you guys can let me know if you're seeing my screen. I'm going to pop out, let's see here. Pop the questions tabs out. I like to keep that separate here. So VJ, thank you. So if you can hear me loud and clear, see my screen, and if you're excited to be here and excited for the additional training you'll be getting every week. Thanks, Gordon. You see it, Mark, sure, all good. Put a 1 in the chat if everything sounds loud and clear. Great. Okay, awesome sauce. All right, here we go. So the first thing I want to let you folks know, I believe that you guys and girls getting on this call, now we got we're about another 15 more than we had just about a minute ago. I want to thank you guys for coming. I really look for the fact that you guys are always on these calls just shows your interest and excitement, and that really gets us excited to see that you guys keep coming on for these calls. And it also means that you're probably the most active people. You're reading our emails, you're checking the Facebook group. What I wanted to show you here is we have some announcements. Now, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be putting a sticky that's going to be up here permanently, and it's going to be an everything you need to know. it's going to go one link, and it's going to go to our new Groove Digital site, which is going to be going live in a couple of weeks, and it'll be having things like, what are the updates? What did I purchase? How do I purchase it? What's the difference between the lifetime and all these things? The FAQs, where you can get it, like additional training, because we have that scattered in a lot of different posts. But every time we make a new post, some of the important posts are starting to go down. So we're just going to have a sticky post that's going to link to the Groove Digital site with nice little square icons that said, what is GroovePages, FAQ, how do I get this, that, how do I get on the trainings, where do I register? And it'll be basically everything you need to know. But what I would like you to know is that we were doing a lot of updates behind the scenes, and we were taking a look at some of the things that were, some of the feedback that we were getting. And just looking at some of the comments that that were being posted, like at external websites, external Facebook groups and things like that, and people were like, it doesn't seem to be that there's any development going on. And we were like, hey, you know what? We've got a team of developers. Let me see if I can actually pull this thing forward here. This is here: Max, Hosni, Abdullah, Robin, Rohan, Lokesh, Roseman, Siddharth, Jack, Abitid, Jawad, Zakir, Matt Naus, Finn, Dean, Arthur, Opu, Karul, Thomas, Danielle, Roop, Raghu, Akisha, Robin, a second Robin, a company called Recruit Technologies, Sanjita, and Yashir. We have 28 developers and graphic people working on there. And we said to ourselves, maybe it would be a good idea if we were actually giving you daily updates so you know what's happening, right? All you're doing is you're going here and you're putting in these, look right here, look, save entire blocks, right? This is in progress. This is now done. This, and I'm going to show you this today, right, is now done. And I should probably log in. I'm not even logged in, so I'm not even going to do that right now. I'll just tell, but Matt updates these things, so I don't have to let you know. But basically, if you go down now, you can see a daily, not a daily update, but every few days, Matt Naus is basically telling you what's going on. And if it's a pretty big thing, he's giving you a little bit of video here. And as you can see, we started that about a week and a half ago, and you're getting the updates that are happening. We're not doing that right now with GrooveCell. We want to get GrooveCell more to a less of the coming soon stuff in there. But once we do that, you're going to be seeing some updates on that as well. But I'll be giving you a full demo of that. So let's get started on some of the stuff that's coming soon. So the first thing I want to let you know, this stuff hasn't gotten live yet, but when you're actually in your pages, let me move this here so I have a better view. When you're actually in your pages, you notice right now all of the elements are, if you look at the blocks are collapsed, right? You can go, such like this with the blocks, right? And when we go into the elements, they're not like that. They're just not organized. And so what we're doing now with these elements, they're going to look like this very soon. They will have a collapse, and then when they expand, they will open like this, and they'll even be nested. So what we're doing currently looks like this. If you're looking for a button, all you're getting is just this little button over here. Let me get it right here. All you're getting is this unstyled button, right? Is that helping you guys out a lot? Not really, right? Then you have to go in here. You have to maybe go into the expert mode. I'll be talking about this, and you've got to style it and color it. And remember, if you don't know, our philosophy here is that we want to make sure that you don't have to work here in the style editor hardly ever, unless you're really looking just to get things a little bit more custom. What we're looking to do is, as opposed to just having the this one button here like this, you're going to be getting solid buttons, right? And then you'll collapse that, and they'll be blue, they'll be circular, all different types of buttons for you. You'll have outline buttons, different color text links. For instance, let's move on to logos, navigations as well. We're gonna design all of these different things. So if you can imagine, just let's say, for instance, here, if I go to the countdown timer, right? Let's see, right here. you're getting just one countdown timer, and we're leaving it up to you. Go style it. Right now, we do have countdown timer sections in the blocks here. You can go here and go to countdown, and you could get different ones like this. But when it comes to just dragging an element, not in a block, but like right into a section, you're going to be seeing so many designed elements. So your buttons, your media, web forms, everything we're just going to be constantly adding new designs for you. So next thing I'm very excited to go over with you is when you create a new page, and then you're looking to choose a template. Right now, it looks something like this. You click new page, and you're basically just getting, okay, templates. And I've got some good news that we've added some new templates in here today. Many of you may not have seen it. I think we've added 10 new templates. But having said that, this is not the easiest way to organize this. So the first thing we're going to be doing is taking this little window that pops open, and it basically opens up to here. We're going to be making that window open all the way out to about here, so that you're going to be able to see more things. On top of that, you're then going to say, what do you want to see? All templates, or just like a single page, like an opt-in page? Do you want to see complete websites? And that's going to be a complete, what we call a brand website, where you'll have an about us page, a contact page, a support page, a social media page, your home page, everything that, the 5 or 6 pages that come with, a normal site. And then you will have funnels, which is also very excited, right? So I want to talk about the difference between us and the leading brand, so to speak, ClickFunnels. What ClickFunnels does is they don't necessarily create entire funnel templates. They actually have a funnel marketplace where other people are actually selling templates that are themed from the opt-in page to the upsell page to the VSL to the thank you page, et cetera, but they don't. What you do with ClickFunnels is you basically set up a funnel, and it says, okay, you need an opt-in page, and then it opens up the library of all these different pages that aren't themed, and you'll say, okay, I'll take this one. And it says, okay, now you need an upsell page. It opens up your upsell library, and you have 30 different designs that are all different than your opt-in page, and you choose that one. And then you say, okay, I need a thank you page or an upsell page or a VSL. And what you're doing is you're actually building out your pages. Very good. You've got your landing page, your upsell page, your VSL page, and your thank you page, but they're all designed in different themes. Our funnels are going to be designed in themes. So I'm just going to move forward. Basically, when you click this button, it's now going to give you something like this. Do you want a single page template, or do you want to build an entire site funnel? For instance, here you also can choose categories, and it's going to help you find things better, because that's going to be easier. You might want to know real estate, personal development, health and wellness, different things like that. It's going to be easier. So again, going to be much easier to find your different products. All this stuff is coming very soon. So next, I want to show you is how the funnels are going to work, because many of you asking or saying, hey, when are the funnels coming? How's that going to work? It's coming very soon. Bear with me a second. I just have to ask Michelle to do me a quick favor, and I'm going to put myself on mute. Thank you. I apologize. So what we're going to have is you're going to basically, when you create a funnel, we're going to ask you what is the path that you want to put that in. So basically, when you're in something like this in your publish settings, right, you're going to have your domain in here, right? myluckysite.com. And when you choose a new funnel, your new funnel will go in the forward slash. So you might have mysite.com, and that's what we're going to call. Thank you, Michelle. That's what we're going to call your brand site. Okay. And so that's where I might have mikefilsaime.com or groovedigital.com. But if I'm going to have a funnel, I might call that funnel, let's just say my tripwire funnel, right? So I would call that tripwire like that, or maybe I'll put a dash there, tripwire. I know it might be a little bit hard to see, but basically what's going to happen now when we go back here, your funnel all of these pages are going to be in MikeFilsaime.com/tripwire, and then all of these pages would then be related, like opt-in or landing page or upsell. If this is sounding a little confusing, don't worry. Right now it's in the mock-up mode, but I also want to let you know, if you remember like how we saw this over here, let me just go back a couple of pages where you saw these little collapses like you see here like this. When you, let me now go, now just remember, imagine having the collapses, or I'll just give you another example live. Imagine having, when you see here like in the blocks, so you're going to have blocks, elements. We're changing this from pages, and this is going to be called the brand site, because this is basically everything that's at the .com. You know, your site with navigation, everything like that. So this is going to become the brand. The pop-ups is going to move down, and just imagine right here it's going to say funnels. I even think we have that right here. You see, it's going to say funnels, and this is going to become brand. And now in the funnels, I want you to picture that you have something like this. All of your different funnels. It'll say something like webinar funnel, tripwire funnel, Facebook ad funnel, YouTube ad funnel, product launch funnel, webinar with Donna Fox funnel, right? And then you'll go in and you'll hit a plus button, you know, something like, you know, in your funnels, right? You'll hit a button here that says add new funnel, right? And then what's going to happen, I'm going to show you here in just a minute, you're going to get something like this. You'll click create new funnel, right? Remember I told you that that's going to be stretched out so you have more room to look. And here's what I was telling you about the themes. You see, this is a VSL funnel. Now this is mock-up, we're just showing examples. This is called a webinar funnel. This has 4 pages. I'm about to preview this, that's why it's showing this. And this has 3 pages. So let's say I wanted to see this webinar funnel, I would click select. The next page I have here for you is showing you that, I'm just going to go back. Remember, it says here there's 3 pages in this funnel. So when you select it, it now shows you the different pages in the funnel. Now these aren't themed together, right? We're just showing a mock-up of how the navigation is going to work. But let's say there were 7 pages in the funnel. All of these pages are going to be themed. And then when you're done, you'll click add funnel, and then you'll get something like I just said. It'll be something like this, where you'll see all of your different funnels, and then you'll click into that funnel, right? Imagine, let's just pretend this said funnels, and you will see, remember, my YouTube funnel, my webinar funnel, my tripwire funnel, as many funnels as you want. And the thing is, remember, these are all hosted on the same domain, you know, at MikeFilsaime.com or something. So I'm getting a message from Donna. So bear with me a second in case she's telling me there's a problem.
I'm not.
Okay, no, okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
no problem. Thanks. When I see my staff texting me that are on this call, I'm thinking maybe they're telling me there's a problem. Okay, so again, here's where we're a little bit different than ClickFunnels. What ClickFunnels does on other sites is, in your main settings, you'll create a custom domain, and then you're publishing. And when you publish a funnel, it asks you. I don't want to. Come on. It asks you which one of the domains do you want to publish it to. We're doing a little bit different. I'm actually going to just get out of this just for a second here. And this says new site. We're going to be changing that to new project site, because once you choose a site, right, a project site, and you choose a .com to publish it to, you cannot create another site with that .com. So once I put in here www.mikefilsaime.com, every single page that I put in here will go to mikefilsaime.com. I cannot go later, get out of here, and create a new site, right, and publish this site to mikefilsaime.com. Because it's going to overwrite, it's going to wipe out all the stuff in the other site. So we're going to put something in there that's when you try to use the domain, it's going to say, sorry, you're already using that .com. And so the way that it's going to work, if you say, well, how am I supposed to build another funnel in there? Again, we're kind of changing the rules. We're trying to do things a better way. So we're basically saying, no, once you've put in MikeFilsaime.com or your brand right in here, right? Like, you know, layerapp.com. Well, then what you do is you create your brand site, because you would only have one site at the .com, right? When you go to marketerscruise.com, right? That would be what is the front facing site. And then you're going to click create a funnel. If I could just, you'll create a funnel. And if that's going to go into that .com, it'll say, what's the funnel path? And remember before I said like tripwire or whatever I want to name that. And I'm going to create my funnel right within, bear with me, right within the .com, just like this. Everything is being published into an entire site project. So I hope that's making sense.
I'm going to interrupt you on this one, because I'm so excited about this. I love this.
So that made a little sense to you, what I just said.
It makes perfect sense to me, because working with some other page builders, and you'll create a page and you'll hook it up to your site, but you don't necessarily ever have a place where you can see all the pages that are on your site. And it's really easy to have pages out there.
I know exactly what you mean. They treat it like a library, right? It's like, okay, here's a filter. These are all these different pages, but how do they really connect? And I know that, like, I'll create a page for a funnel, then work on 2 other things in the brand, and then work on another part of that funnel 2 weeks later, and then these pages are not even connected. There's like 5 other pages in the list, and they're not organized, right? So what we're doing is we're changing this from pages to your brand, right? This is where you navigate, and then you'll have this thing called your funnels. And then you'll be able to look at all your different funnels. And then when you jump in, you see right here, I could go back to the collapse of all the other funnels. But once I choose my mini course funnel, check this out. It shows me, this is my funnel pages. I have my opt-in pop-up page, my landing page, my VSL, my survey, my limited offer, and my thank you page. And when I click on my landing page for more information, check this out. It's right here. I get all my stats, my visitors, my bounce rates, my click-through rates. Everything is all here. It's just organized right. Folks, this is what happens when you work with a UI UX designer that literally sits back and works on this stuff in here, in this for us, and says, this is how you want to design this. And then we go and we develop it that way. If you guys are getting what I'm saying, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat for me, and tell me that this is making sense. Timothy 1, Elizabeth, VJ, Seth, Mark Schwimmer, Rick Thomas, Associated Resources, Ross Johnson, Sandy Wesley. I'm going to stop in 3 seconds. Alan, Tanya, George Gaynor. Yes, big time. 110. Awesome. So it's still going. Anthony, Arthur, Linny, George or Jorge, Reveron. So, and he says, great, exclamation point. Tim Enden, Edom puts a 1 in there for us. Okay, so that's what we're doing. When you have your project, you will have one domain and every page you want in this domain. Then if you don't want to put a page on this domain, well, then you'll go back out and create a new project site. And all of your stuff happens in that one .com. Your brand is here, and your funnels will be right underneath that. Right here, you dig into your 7 different funnels, and you see your different pages, and you work on them right in the page builder. Okay, so I'm going to move on from this. I think this is just some other stuff here, the simplified editor I'm going to go over. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to show you a couple of other things that we're working on, some templates that haven't gone live yet, right? These aren't live yet, but this right here, this is like, we've created like a SaaS template, right? So this is more of a direct marketing template. This is going to be coming live for you soon. Now, this right here is a very clean type of design as well, but you're noticing it has some nice curved features here and some nice little graphics here. I'm not sure if they're coming through these dots on GoToWebinar, like over here. This is going to be the types of templates that you're going to be getting in there as well. We have probably about 30 or 40 of these that are already designed, that are being put into the system. And as I told you, we just dropped 10 of them for you in the last 24 hours. So check this one out here. If you notice, I'm going to tell you the honest truth here. Marketerscruise.com. The actual live one was built over at at Kartra, my previous company. When I sold that, we're moving off, that platform completely. I've actually been told by a couple of people, John Cornetta came over to me and he pointed out some comments that, hey, look at MikeFilsaime.com is still on Kartra. Look at marketerscruise.com is still on Kartra. They built GroovePay on Kartra, right? Because we built GroovePay in January of last year, and literally 13 months ago, and GroovePages just went live in December, right? So now we're in the midst of redesigning all of our pages. So what we're doing is we're having our designer design the pages for us, and then we're going to publish these things as templates. So the Marketer's Cruise, what is it? It's a one-page event site. So this is the design now for the Marketer's Cruise, but this is going to become a one-page event site. We're going to put lorem ipsum in here, but you will have a site like this if you're doing your own event, your speakers and everything like that. Put a 1 in the chat if some of this stuff looks gorgeous, if you're excited about this.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. And Mike,
Tom, you haven't seen this, right? The new Marketer's Cruise.
That is fantastic. Holy cow. And this is a great note for everyone else listening, because guess what? Life is busy, right? You have a lot of things to do. And so as you see, Mike is proactive.
Thank you.
Mike is proactively doing this, and it's going to be upgraded, but others will say, oh, well, look at Mike doing this. And no, this is all in motion. So you need to rest easy. If you're using any other, or you already have your site all squared away, you don't have to switch immediately. You want to make sure that it's planned out strategically. So there's no rush to get your site switched over completely, but in a step-by-step process, of course, you can make that transition. And holy cow, this is one heck of a site for Marketer's Cruise.
Yeah, and everybody's going to get it.
Yeah.
So check this out, Tom. Look at this, right? I've got MikeFilsaime.com on Kartra. Right, I built the site using Kartra pages, and I didn't do a very good job, and I got to get rid of all this, there's other stuff. I think I still got some other brands on there that it's time to update. I don't even have GroovePages. I probably have Kartra. No, I took it off. I did take them off finally. Okay, but having said that, this is still on Kartra, right? So I've got to go in now. I can build it from scratch, but I would rather use a template. Wouldn't you guys rather use a template? Of course. So what am I doing? I'm telling my designer, hey, create me a template. Why should I design the site? And then find out 2 weeks later, he's designed a brand site template. So here, right here, is the new quote unquote MikeFilsaime.com site, the DonnaFox.com, the Matt Serralta, the John Cornetta, the Tom Beal, the George Tully, Elizabeth Donati, and Anthony Kadir. I'm looking at your names in here, Steve Bress, right? So this is a template, and this is what we're calling a site template, right? So this is going to be a brand. Who is Mike Filsaime? Blah, 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 right? You're going to have different navigation. We're going to pre-make your about pages for you and all that, and you can change it and customize and change all the pictures, right? Let me show you another one. This is stuff that you don't do with ClickFunnels, because remember, I'm showing you here, we allow you to build what we're going to be calling brand sites as well. ClickFunnels wasn't designed to create a site with navigation that looks like this next one. Check this out. I'm really excited to show you this one. Boom. Real estate. Do we not have good designers or what, right? We know that in real estate, you go to a serif font instead of a sans serif font, and you can see here this is just gorgeous, right? You can tell that our designers know how to switch modes from direct marketing and what needs to be a lead capture page to something that needs to look like a corporate brand site, right? And the truth is, some other competitors poo-poo on corporate brand sites, and they laugh at this. No way. Your .com, your DonnaFox.com needs to have a professional look like this. And then yes, your landing pages need to have a little bit more direct marketing. We're giving you both. Here is a more of a direct marketing style, but still very clean. This is, in my opinion, much cleaner than the sites that you're getting with the other funnel builders. I think they're more modern. If you like this, I'm going to say this a few more times, but if you like what you see, put a 1 in the chat. Now I've got another 30 or 40 of these I could show you, but you get the picture. They're coming. You love it.
So many ones, Mike. Everybody, I think.
Yeah. So I see somebody here. I'm sorry if I missed this. Will this allow WordPress pages? No, you're going to be getting away from WordPress. We're actually going to be building a blogging platform for you. However, if you want to publish your page on WordPress, we will give you a little JavaScript code. You go in WordPress and you use a free plugin. Donna, you probably remember the name of it. I think it's called Slate or something. I honestly forget.
Yeah, it's called Blank Slate.
Blank Slate, yeah. And then basically it gets rid of all the CMS, and you basically would just give you a code, and you create a new page in WordPress, name it, paste our code, and then it's on WordPress. But we're getting you away from WordPress. You folks are going to be so happy when we get to that. More stuff than I can cover tonight, so I'm actually going to close this, and I'm going to close this, and we're going to jump in and actually go over just a couple of new things. And then I'm going to play with the builder. But first, I want to show you if you folks know some things that are new. So I want to just get rid of this countdown timer here. Now, I will tell you that we are playing around with what happens when you hover. If you remember in the past, you used to hover and everything would turn red right away, and it would give you epilepsy, right? Everything you would hover over. Now, the next thing we did is now we're delaying the hover. Now watch when I hover over here, and I hover and I wait, and it puts a purple circle around the box. I can't stand this. We're trying different things out. I didn't like the red. I felt it was too aggressive. So I told them to put something with our color palette that was a little bit easier, and I told them use like a purple or something, and you know what? They did, and I hate it. It looks gross. I think we're going to go back to the red. I may have them try an electric green. I just didn't like the red. I just felt it was very aggressive. It just,
I was
it's like
something wrong when I saw the red.
Yeah, right. So I think we're going to try an electric green. I had them do the blue, and he said, Mike, a lot of stuff in design is blue, and not many things in the design are red, and that's why the red is good. And then they did this. They put this little animation that squares, and I can't stand it. When I hover over it, I just wanted to highlight, but we're trying different things out. I'm going to tell you, you like the, no, look, when I click on it, watch what happens when I click on the red button.
Yeah.
Right? Or when I click over here, it opens, tells me the parent frame so I can move up to it, and then it goes to, I just want it, when I click on it, I want it to be green or red. I'm going to do a survey here.
Color, yeah. Let's do a survey.
Yeah, the purple
like
is not working, right? So guys, we are definitely, I'm not even going to ask you, I'm getting rid of the animation. We don't like that. Let me ask you a question. What do you think would be nicer, like an electric green or go back to the red? And I'm going to wait for you to type that in. Just we have the neutral gray, Daniel, is for the parent frame above that. You see, when you select a frame, it tells you the parent frame and the breadcrumb. So green always green, pink question mark, try the electric green, red, purple looks great. Some of you like the purple. Green, striped, electric green, why not highlight the text itself rather than the box? No, we want it to be what you see is what you get. If we highlight the button, then the button is no longer red. Or if we highlight the text, we want to just put a frame around it. Electric green works. Electric green, blue is nice, but some people are liking the purple. Okay. But obviously color is subjective. Let me let you know one other thing that we are going to consider. And just tell me if you guys actually just want to see it for a week to play with it, okay? And that is this. I'm going to start the wizard, and let me, okay. Do you see what just happened here? I'm doing a wizard, and it's saying start guide. Let me do this here. Do you see how it's dimming everything out and highlighting what the guide is, right? Now this is the right color and everything else is dim. I would love your feedback on this. Let me go through something else, like when we get up here, that it might look a little bit better. You see, you can see this, but it's dimming everything else out. Let's find something that makes a little more sense. Here's an example. This is clear, but I've dimmed out the site. So what we're thinking of, Donna, Tom, Beal, feel free to chime in and let everybody know in there if you'd like to see it or you think it's going to be confusing. What we're thinking is maybe when you select this will stay perfectly white, and then the rest of the site goes about 10% dim. Donna, Tom, you think that's something you
I
might
like
want to
it a lot.
see, or should we stay with the squares? And I want to see what everybody else is saying in here.
I like it. I think that would work really good. Maybe a little bit more than 10%. But
So put a yes,
not.
try the dimming, or the dimming option sounds good. Need to play around with it. Yeah, we're going to play around with it, see how it looks. We're going to try it. Somebody says, can you please make us some training videos? We don't want to just yet. We're going to be doing training every Tuesday night. And just please understand, for us to build out an entire library of training videos, if you notice, we moved the expert mode from here over to here. We've absolutely changed what happens in the non-expert mode. I'm going to be showing you that. We've changed the way these things are working now. They used to be separate and over here. And the interface is changing slightly. For instance, here, we've added favorites. This wasn't here just a day ago. Believe me, we really, really want to do the training videos, but we've done this before, quote unquote, not our first rodeo. And what happens is the amount of work that it takes to create, 122 training videos for you, only for them to be out of date for a week. Then we get busy, and then 6 months later, we're showing training videos that don't even look like the current site. So yes, we will definitely have training videos. Come every Tuesday, we're going to be doing trainings, and when we finally get this thing, fully pushed out there in a couple of months, we're going to do a full training library for you. Does everybody get that? Cool. All right, Donna, just curious what you thought about the dimming. Is it something you'd want to see, or Tom Beal would love to?
I want to try it. I think the dimming would have the positive effect of helping me focus on just what I'm working on. Mm-hmm. At the same time, the artistic side of me might not want my page to be dimmed. So
yeah, I get it.
I'm not sure.
So yeah, and the only way the dimming will go away, because something's always selected, you'd have to kill this, and then that gets rid of all selections.
Right. And if I wanted to change, say that text color for that headline, where it says feature
right,
one.
Yeah, we're not going to do it. Donna, you just made a great point. You might want to see. I get it. You need to see how this headline matches your background. I get it. Yeah, in real time. Yeah. So let me show you folks a couple of things. So what I'm probably going to do is just go with the electric green and the red.
Donna, great point. When you're editing and stuff, I mean, you want to see the colors. You want to be able to make sure, is the change that I just made, does it make sense? Does it flow? And if there's dimmed aspects, and then when you undim it, you're like, oh crap, it looks a little different. So yeah, that's the only thing when you're doing editing. But if you're going through a guide, if you are doing that where you're learning about stuff, I think the dimming does come into play, because now you're coming out of editing mode, but you're learning how to better use.
Yeah, the guide is important. You want to focus. Yeah, but on the element, you really want to see your page as it is, and you want real-time editing. So I think what it's going to come down to is get rid of the square drawing, and just when you select, just make that thing go back to that reddish pink that we had, or the green. We'll bring it out to green for you, and we'll get some feedback from you, after we do it, and then we'll maybe try it with the red, and then we'll go back and forth. Maybe we'll do a poll and see what you guys prefer. Okay, so let's get down to some basics. I'm not doing a full training on this. We actually do have some other videos on that, but let's just do some of the basics. I've asked Matt to move designer blocks over to the left and the wireframes to the right, because these blocks are going to become, in my opinion, these are going to be more of where you're going to be looking. The wireframes are going to be something that is just like, hey, I want something without any design, so that I can go and design it myself, right? But either way, when you find something that you like, and you want to go to, let's just get a call to action here, right? Let me get something a little nicer. Let's just look at all blocks so I can see something nice, right? Okay. I believe these are they were testing some favorites here. Let's grab. Let's see. Let's just grab this one right here. And you just drag something that you like over to the canvas, right? Now, these are blocks. What are blocks? Blocks are pre-designed complete sections with many elements. We have an image element, a text element, et cetera, right? Now, what are elements? Elements means that I want to drag something onto an existing block, like a YouTube video. So I might just drag this right over here and place it like that, right? So that's not a video section, it's just adding a video. And if you remember earlier, I said we're going to be organizing this for you to make it much easier, just like the blocks. Some other things that you can do, you can click on anything that you want here, and you can click on the settings, and that goes over to the functionality stuff here. The edit opens up this, basically the side panel. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. You can clone it just by doing that. If you don't want that item, you can hit trash. We always ask you to confirm. And then this arrow up means go up the, what's known as the dome tree, go up one more. And if you're asking, like, why do we have that? I'll give you an example. Let me see if I have something, I don't have like the best example here, but maybe something like this. I might want this, and then you'll notice that there's also a frame around here, and then these three are in a frame. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been with a page builder that didn't have this little feature, and what was happening to you is you were fighting to try to get one of these boxes open, and it keeps highlighting this one and this one and this one, and like every time you hover, as soon as you click, it's like, oh, it picked the wrong one. So yeah, George and Alan, Terry says yes. So what we do is we basically always go to the lowest one, and if that's not the one you wanted, then you can just simply click up and go to the parent frame just like that. So let's go talk about working with the fonts now. We've made some major changes to the fonts. What you do is click on the element of the fonts that you want to edit, and you click the text icon like that, and you'll notice something new pops up over here. I want to show you a little shortcut that you can do as well. You can also just double click the font. I've always said, to Matt, I don't like that. I always have to, wait for this T to show up so that I can do that. I can do that, or I can just double click and then just go right in. So let's go into this headline and talk about some things that are new here. We're going to notice there's nothing here. We're not in the editor yet. I can't start typing unless I double click or hit the text. So now that I'm here, I want to show you a couple of things. I'm really excited to demo this. We've really cleaned up what you see is what you get, right? We've made that really, really cool. Now, this is your palette over here. I'm going to talk about the expert mode and the basic mode, which I'm so happy to show you this. And then I'm going to talk to you about what is the difference here. So I would recommend normally, let's go into expert mode so I can just have a little more control. You'll notice that when I change the text here, the font, right? Watch what happens to this font. I'm going to switch to Roboto. And it just went to Roboto. Let's change it to something that's a little bit more, maybe we can see something a little bit different. You see, that's much different, right? You can see that W crossing, right? So we can change the fonts right here. Yes, we'll be adding a ton more fonts for you. Don't worry, that's all coming. I would recommend that you work within here, because this changes the font for the entire selection. And this also changes the size for the entire selection. Let's make that really huge, right? And then let's bring it back down to something normal, maybe a little bit bigger. Now, also the font color, the entire thing right here can be changed in one fell swoop. Okay, let's just go back to white. So this allows me to basically work with it with a more professional style. Now, we do have things here, right? Like weight. Let me close this. Weight, we have hairline, light, bold, and all that different stuff. We have the letter spacing, which is, take a look right here what happens with when I go tight and when I go wide. It's putting slightly more characters spaces in between the letters, right? We're actually changing that to a slider. Let's leave that normal. And then the line height. Let me show you what the line height is here. I'm going to actually do it on this one because I have more lines. You need several lines for this to actually work. So when I click on the line height here, watch what happens when I go loose. It puts a lot of spacing in here. If I go none, it's like almost on top of each other. The normal is probably the best one that we want to use. So we have none, tight, normal, loose. So that's what that is here. So that's working like within the traditional, what we call the palette. Now, we did add some stuff here to make things a lot easier for you. But this is, when you're going to work here, this is going to change just the particular item that you select. So I might want to make just this word bold. So I would click bold like that. I might want to just italicize that or underline that particular word, right? Just like a Google Doc, right? Or I want to put a strike through here. I may also want to do, you know, look, I'm designing something ugly, but you get what I'm saying. I might want to make this reverse yellow with black text. So I would go to the highlight and make this yellow, and then I would make the text black, and now I get, oops, what did I do there? I have to make that text black. Oh, I have to select it. Let's see, is that working? So why did that not go black? Let me see. Huh. Little bug there, folks. I think we just found, unless I'm doing something wrong. Let's try the blue. Nope, okay. I gotta let Matt know. Donna, if you can take a little note there for us that the black didn't work. I don't know if it was when it was highlighted, but you get the point. Let me move on here. I can also, if you notice in the text, I can center, left justify, center, and fully justified here, right? But I can also do that here as well. I can also change the font size of just like, you know, you might want to make it look like a font tag, right? So I can do something like what you see is a huge what you get, right? So, and maybe I might just want to make this small. I don't know why I'd want to do that, but let's say I did, right? But you've seen different things like that. So this is allowing you to have a little bit more control. Next here is if I want to hyperlink anything, where do I put that there? http://AOL.com. Who uses that? Shout out, put a 1 in the chat if you ever had an AOL. But no, don't do that. Put a 0 in the chat if you've never had an AOL account. That's what I'd like to see. Put a 0. I'd like to see, and then you're going to be okay, because I don't want to give everybody else's age up if they're putting a 1. Wow, we've had a lot of people here saying 0. That's interesting. Somebody's asking George Tully, can we drag and drop image size on page? I'm not sure what you mean by image size, but I can go to an image and I can click on sizing right here, and I can make it based on pixel, right? And then I can make it larger by going like this. And if you notice, I'm doing the width, and then I'd have to go to the height and adjust that pixel to 450 so that it'll be square, and I can do that as well. And probably want the width a little bit wider and make this a little bit smaller to be more like a circle. There you go. Okay, now if I don't like that, I can hit the undo button here several times, right? And I'm going to because I don't, I want to just keep things clean. But that was just to answer your question. Okay, let's go back to the fonts and just work on one last thing here. You have redo and undo as well in your fonts as well. Okay, remember you can drag and drop anything by selecting it and grabbing your drag handles over here and moving them wherever you want, even into another section. I might want to put that right here like that. And we give you a ghost image that just makes it very, very easy. So we can drag anything we want across the canvas. I'm not going to mess this page up too much. I think if we just demo those things one time, that's good. To let you also know, we've added some new formats for you as well in the elements, your layouts. You have 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, but take a look what we've done in the blocks for you as well. I believe, let me see here. It's in the wireframes. I just realized we don't have empty Oh, right, because there's no design. So you go to your wireframe and you click on empty and look at these different types of grid designs that we've given you. 1/3, 25%, 75%, 5 columns, 4 columns, 3 columns, 2 columns. Over here you have a, this looks like a 75-25. No, this is a 66, or 2/3, 1/3, 1/3, 2/3. Then we have, this looks like a 25-75 and a 75-25. This looks like a, what would that be? 1/6, 1/6, 1/3. I don't know. Some maybe 40%, 20-20. Is this in the middle? Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that could be Donna. That could be 50-25-25. We've added 25-50-25 for, you know, all different types. Just why that just makes your layout easier, you know, to be able to lay things out. This is a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, right? So these are, that's how you lay things out. I'm not going to go too much into this right now because we have so much to cover and we're already in our first hour. Let me show you some other cool things that were added. Next, right here, if you notice, if I spend a lot of time designing this block, right, and I do all of these different things, this is something that I really wish would have been there when we went live. I cannot tell you how difficult it was for me when I was designing sites and I didn't have this feature. This is one of my most exciting features. We now have add this block to your favorites. So if I spend 20 minutes doing this font, adding an image, and I've designed the world's greatest checkout page with testimonials, and now I go over here and I add a new page, right? And I want to bring a checkout page on this other page, right? Because I might have, you know, an upsell or something, and I want to save. I'd have to redesign the whole thing. It was driving me crazy. Guess what I do now? I click add to favorites. And after I add to favorites, it says, what category do I want to put it in? And I scroll down and I put it there. And we're going to be adding something here that says create new category. And you can name it favorites or Mike's checkouts. And then you hit save. And then it's going to add it right to your categories. And let's practice this one. Let's do this with this ugly one right here that, where's the one with the, you know, the text, right? This one. This is an ugly one, right? But let's just say for some reason, this was near and dear to my heart. I would click here and I'm going to add this one to my content, right? So I'm going to now hit save. Okay, and I know that this does take about 15 seconds. It says content saved. Okay, great. Now when I go to my blocks and I go to my content, there you go. See that? The what you see is what you get one. And if I were to just drag that right over it, and if I don't want that anymore, I hit the trash button and I can get rid of that from my favorites. If you haven't, if you've been using the builder, trust me, you've been missing that. I know that for sure. Just a couple of other things I want to get into. One, I'm going to show you the navigation. So in order to do that, I have to create some blank pages. So I'm just going to drag some blocks on here real quick. Let's just drag. I just got to drag anything on here. Otherwise, it doesn't consider that page built. Let's go back to our pages. Let's rename this page the About. Let's add another page here. Blank page. We're going to call this Contact. And let's add a final page. We're going to call this Support. I'm just using a blank template, rename it, Support. Okay, now let's just make one more page. You know, for those of you that haven't been here before, we're going to call this Secret Discount. I'm going to leave that here for a minute to show you why. Now remember, I do need to have some content on these pages. So let's just for the sake of argument, I'm just going to add the same stuff on every page. So that the About page has something, the Contact page does not have anything. So let's add something there as well. We'll just throw that there for now, temporary stuff. So we've got the home, the index, the About Us page, the Contact page, the Support page, and the Secret Discount. So the Support page is missing something. Let's we'll just pop this one there. Now Now, if we go back to our pages, I can navigate to our pages there, or I can just go here and click on our home page. Now, oh, this is really great. I'm glad that this happened. The fonts are a little bit too big here. So the first thing we're going to do, let's just fix that. So what do? We just learned we go to the text and we click the font size, and let's just click small, a little too small. Let's go to extra large. Works for me. That looks pretty good, and we've now taken care of that, right? So the next thing we want to do is I want to show you that the navigation automatically populated. But this page here, secret discount, I don't want anybody to know about that, and that's why I called it secret discount. So what do? I simply take this and I drag it to a hidden page, and it's no longer in my navigation. Now, I also have all these cool social media videos. So I've added a new page, and I'm going to call that social media. So we call that social media. We hit save. Let's go just add a little content there, just so that it knows that it's an actual page. Now that we've got content, let's go back to our home page, and we're going to see we have social media. The only thing is, social media I want under my about page. I want it to be what's known as a drop-down menu. So I simply take this and I drag it to the about, and if you notice, I've now moved it here. Whoops. But I want it underneath it, so I simply just move it to the left, just like this. Bink. And now it's a drop-down menu. So that is pretty cool. Now let me show you a couple of other things that any single time I need a block and I want to drag over a navigation, it'll automatically propagate those links for me. Same thing in the wireframes. I have navigation. If I move it over, it will propagate that for me. But let's actually make one more page for this demo. And this is my final page when they purchase from me. And I'm gonna add, let's just add this content right here for the sake of argument. Okay. Let me just see here. You know, I have to find out because I'm admin, if I'm getting other people's favorites, because maybe that's why this trademark lawns is here. So I definitely don't want to delete anything. Okay.
That is the case, yeah.
Okay, I think I deleted somebody's favorite. He's not going to be happy with me, but now that I know, I'll never do that again. Okay, so next thing that I want to do, I'm going to get rid of, this. Well, this is just, let's just get rid of this here for a second, right? I'm going to get rid of this. Now, what I want to do is I can do one of two things. I can drag a navigation bar over here like this. And if you notice, it put my home, about, and contact. Now, if I wanted that navigating bar in this is known as a block, but if I wanted to put that actually in an existing block, I would have went to an element and then went down here to the navigation bar and pulled it right onto the page, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, now the reason why I did this is page 7 is called my thank you page. Donna, I don't know if you know about this feature, but you Matt, and Tom are going to love this. Thank you page. I don't need to put it like that. We're just going to call it my thank you. So now I have a thank you page. The only thing is, on my thank you page, I don't want the same navigation as my home page. So I hope this works because I haven't tested it, but check this out. I select the navigation on this particular page, right? And now I go to functionality and I choose pages to exclude. I no longer want the about page, the contact page. Let's leave the let's leave the support page, and I don't want the thank you page showing here. And in fact, let me just go back to my home page. I need to take the thank you page and make that a hidden page. That shouldn't show anywhere. So now if we go back to my home page, you'll notice I still have my navigation in place. But on my thank you page or my upsell page, let's say, right, here, I only have home and support, right? I don't necessarily, let's say this was my upsell page. I might even want to get rid of
login or something like that as well, yeah, that's fantastic.
Right. Well, so this is the next. So let's even get rid of the home page, right? Because this is the thank you page. So now we just have support, but you've just purchased a product and you need an account. But the account goes, maybe, I'm just going to use this word here, right? Your account maybe goes to Kajabi, right? Where your membership site is, or on your WordPress site. It's not actually built into your site here. And I'm just using this for an example. Well, now what do? Well, you create an external link. And I just need one external link. And I want to call this login. And I'm just going to link that to not a page in my site, not a block on this page, and not a pop-up, but a URL. Okay, well, what is the URL? Well, I need that to go to GrooveDigital Academy.com. And I want that to open in a new window, and I click update. And just like that, I now have a support and a login, separate navigation, different than I have on my homepage. So that's some pretty cool stuff. I hope you like that, okay?
I'm so excited.
And where do we get this?
I sat here for 2 minutes, Mike, with my jaw literally open. My mouth was open because that is so awesome.
And isn't that badass, right? I'm giddy just showing this stuff. And where do we get this stuff from? Where do we get this stuff? You guys on your site, you see a little bar here. It says feedback.grooveapps.com, and you'll go in and you say request a feature for GroovePages, and you type that feature, and we're looking at this stuff, and this stuff is being added. So this was actually something that was added, asked from people, was to create custom navigation. And by the way, I thought of a way to do it. I was going to create new navigation menus, and Matt said no, leave it to Tomas, and Tomas came up with this idea. And thank goodness we have Tomas as our UI UX designer. I'm telling you, this is why other platforms have gotten out of control, is because if you leave it up to me, I'm just going to put it in all the wrong spots. So let me show you the next cool two last things on GroovePages that I'd like to show you, because this isn't a full demo. This is more of a what's new, but I think we're getting some good stuff covered. The next thing I want to go over is the style editor on the right. We used to have expert mode up here, and we've now moved that to here. And I'm going to bring up free page builder, and I'm going to pull up a website. It's probably going to ask me to log in. Probably needs me to log in. Let me see here. I think free page builder is down for a few seconds, so I'm going to have to come back to that. Donna and Tom, if you can just let me know when that comes back online, let me know. So what I'm going to do is continue without showing that example. What I was going to do is show you that in free page builder, we didn't have all of this luxury to be able to do all of these different types of things. You could basically change your font size and your font. That was it. We didn't do letter spacing and all that stuff. Backgrounds, borders, sizing, spacing, drop shadows, even like these borders. Look at this. We can, if I click custom, look at that. All this, cool different stuff that we can do. You can have a dash border only on the top, the color. Like basically, if you can do it in Photoshop, you can do it here. And then we even got all this beautiful stuff for you geeks out there that love custom CSS. But I realized that when I wanted to do some different things to my button, I had to go in and say background. I want the Belcher button, so I want this to be yellow, and I want the text to be black, and I want the font to be whatever. And I started realizing that this is great when I want to really pixel perfect the design, but if I'm blasting through a page, this was starting to bug me. And I actually said to my partners that, guys, I actually found, oh, by the way, these little green buttons right here says that there has been a change separate to the default layout. So this tells you that there's been a change made. So I'm just going to go back here, make the font white again, and I think the button was pink. Oops, man, I messed that up. Okay, so this is white, and the background was, I think, pink, right? Something like that. Okay, so now that we have that, I want to show you, because we're in expert mode, why having to constantly collapse. Like I said, this is great if I want to really make this round, right? So then I would go here to the borders, and I would drag this all the way over. Notice my borders are getting like, so Steve Jobs would have liked this, right? Steve Jobs hated square corners. He liked rounded corners. But what if I want like what was known as a pill? I'll just drag this thing all the way over to the right. I've made a round button. So this is great. I mean, being able to do this. But if I want to hammer out a page and just go right in here and just, here we go again. I've got to hit text, drop down, all this stuff. So what we've done is we've brought back, here we go, free page builder just loaded. Let me pull up a site here. Maybe that's one in my memory here. Whoops. And let's just let this page load. And I want to show you what I absolutely love about free page builder. That when I wanted to just work on this button, I just would click here and I can just go in and I could just say margin, top, color, and change the text. Boom, and I was done. If I wanted to change this text right here, I could basically change the margin on the top, the bottom, and the text color, and center it. You know, blah blah blah. You know, and it had a certain simplicity to it. But it certainly couldn't do the stuff that I could do in GroovePages, not at all. But in the simplicity, I was able to just hammer stuff out, and I felt I could fly through pages. So what we've done with GroovePages is, if you remember, the old out of expert mode was just taking out some of the stuff in here. We've completely rethought this through. When you're in standard mode now, what you're doing is you have the ability now to just go through. Okay, you want to work on the font. What are the things you normally do? You change the font size. You change the color to, let's say, what would be a decent color here? Maybe black, right? And that's it, right? And then maybe I could change the background and things like that. So anything, if I want to just remember I was talking about the button before, how difficult that was, you know, to do some simple things. Well, now if I'm not in the expert mode, which is where I'll probably stay out of most of the time, I would say stay out of that. I simply go here and look, everything is open for me. 1, 2, 3. I can change this button to yellow. I can go over to the text and make it black, and I can change the font in there to Roboto. Very quick. So I'm telling you, actually, folks, if I want to just change the margin real quick, it's all in here. Boom, boom, changing my margins right in here. I don't have to collapse and open. Now I want to get Ninja. Let's go in expert mode, and let's call this Photoshop mode. I want to do weird borders with backgrounds and stuff like that. Do you guys like that? The simplification of going into expert mode and having everything you need pretty quick, just right here. This is something I've asked for. We rethought this. I just want to center this and all that stuff. Boom, it's been done. Much, much easier to use everything. My advice to you is stay in out of expert mode until, because this is basically your basic. Most of the times you're just, even here, look, even in basic mode, I can do my corners, right? I prefer to stay out of expert mode. If I need to change something and I need more stuff, then I'll go here and I'll drill down into every single thing that you can do. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh my God, yes, great. Yes, Donna.
This is one of those places where good user interface design makes all the difference, because I hated expert mode until just now when I saw this. Moving that toggle switch from the center at the top, moving that toggle switch into expert mode from up there at the top where it was in the center of your browser versus over here to here, right? The sidebar. Makes all the difference for me, because I can't tell you how many times I was moving around looking for something and forgot about the existence of expert mode. Oh, and it happened on the training last week. We were looking around trying to figure out how to change the font of something, and none of us remembered for a few minutes that expert mode was there.
Yeah, because it was over here.
Yeah.
Right? So now we've completely changed that. And that's why, folks, we're not making training videos, right? You followed only for that reason. Trust me, we want to, but we're getting the software perfect first. And on top of that, we're doing tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of development in the background. But we're working on this stuff. So this is just an absolute pleasure to work with. And remember, anything related to the function of the button is here, and I'm changing this word functionality to configure. Yeah, it's just going to say configure. Everything now is going to say configure. I just like it better than functionality. I spoke with Matt about it. Let me do a poll here with you folks. Like if I'm doing, the video, it says functionality. It's now going to say configure, right? I put my YouTube stuff here. If I'm doing my button, it's going to say configure. If I do my menu, it's going to say configure. Come on. It's going to say configure. If it says countdown timer, it's going to say configure instead of functionality. Do me a favor. Some of you already put it in there. Configure. I like configure. Configure. Yes. Yes, it's better. Okay, great. Done deal. You guys like configure better than functional. Configurality. Yes, I agree. I get it. Okay, let me show you another thing here that you don't see when you're not in expert mode that you do need to go into expert mode for, and that is hover, active, and focus. So what is hover? Hover is this. See what happens when I hover, right? Hover. So if I wanted to change this color on hover, I simply go to hover, and then I go to the background, and I can change that to be red, right? And now I'm going to shut this off. Now, hopefully that works. Look at that. I've never done that before. You guys see how that is, right? Did you learn something? If you just learned something there, type a 1 in the chat, right? So this is the type of stuff, you've seen this before on websites. You guys are putting a 1. So did I, by the way. I've seen this stuff, but I never played with it. You know what I actually did? I went into YouTube and I learned what hover, active, and focus meant. So now that I've just showed you hover, basically what that means is, remember, in order for me to be in hover mode, right now I'm in not hover mode. Oh, and one other thing that we're doing is we're adding another state here that will always be on like this, and it's going to be normal or default. And so there's going to be 4 buttons here, and it will always say default. And then you will toggle over to hover, active, focus. So that it will make more sense that something over here is selected as default, and all of these things apply to default. It's just going to be a little bit easier. Now, active means I'm clicking on it. No, focus. And I'm getting these backwards. Just bear with me. And somebody can let me know in here. Focus. Focus is when I click and I'm holding my mouse button down on the click, and I'm clicking and I'm holding it. That is known as focus. And then when I release, that is active. Okay, so let me give you an example of how that works. Okay, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to take this in this page here, and I'm going to make this button here like this. Let's add a hover to it, that when I hover it, it turns yellow, just so this really stands out, right? And now focus, I'm going to make it red, something really ugly. And by the way, if we want to go to a full color palette, I think we just go here like this, and then we can get a color, or we can drop the code in. So I've just made that my focus. And active means, remember, focus means I'm pressing and holding, and active means that I've clicked it, I've clicked on it. So let's leave that as the active state. Let's leave that as green. Okay, so that's active. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that. So to give you an example, what we should see is a blue button turn yellow when I hover it. It should turn red when I click and hold it, and then when I move away from it, it should turn the 4th color that I forgot, and then it'll only change when I click away to something else on the page. So let's click the preview button up here, and let's check out that page. So hover is yellow, click and hold is green, and let go. Okay, I have to go through these, but basically, guys, do check out YouTube videos on hover, active, focus. I've messed it up. Either that, or maybe I didn't do something for. Oh, I didn't do the background. Is that what happened? Okay, active, I did. I made it green. Focus. Oh, maybe I didn't do one for focus. Oh, that's
Yeah,
what it is. Focus.
Yeah, I don't think
I
so.
never
Yeah,
did.
I was about to mention
Oh,
that you didn't put one for focus. That's why.
focus. Let's make it black. Okay, that's why. Okay, so that's the problem. We're going to save it. We're going to do a preview again. And now we have 4 different states. Regular, default, right? Hover is yellow. Press and hold. Nope. And so let me see here. Press and maybe I got to play around with this, guys, and find out. But basically now you're getting the picture, right? So right now this is actually focus or active. I'm not even sure, but I'll find out what the other one is and get back to you. I'm not exactly sure. I'm learning that stuff myself, but it was very good for me to even learn that I could hover and change those different things. So now you know when is that good? You know, when you hover over a button for a call to action, or on a menu item, when they select that particular menu, you might want this one to be active so that you know that you selected that. So final thing that we're going to go over here today is, if you remember, in expert mode, we used to have this as your preview of your devices. And then we used to have here, you remember what I just showed you here, that you could change the state if when it hovers or whatever the case is. You might even do that when they hover over the picture and things like that. Well, we used to have some things up here that said, when you select this, that means it's only on mobile, it's only on desktop. We've combined the preview. This was me. They didn't think they could do it, and I gave them some things to do, how to do it. And we've got a little tooltip that explains this, but I'm going to show you this right now. We've combined the preview and the edit this particular device all in the same thing. So I'm going to keep in expert mode here from now. Let's click on this font here, and what I want to show you, and I think there's a bug here, guys, this menu collapses in mobile mode. We're fixing that by Friday. So you see right here, it's collapsed. That's a bug. Many of you reported it. We're fixing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to another page that doesn't have that menu, so that I could design this a little bit better without the menu protruding. So now, if you remember, your homework tonight is to do mobile first indexing. Go read upon this. This is an article here from Search Engine Land that talks about it, or you can actually go to the people that wrote the article, Google, and you can learn at developers.google.com what is mobile first indexing and why is this so important. Or, like I said, read this article here from Search Engine Land, and they just put a horrible pop-up on me, and it'll educate you on excuse me, on what is going on and why it matters. And I'm proud to let you know that we are the only one of the leading, the only funnel building software, and one of the only leading page building softwares that focuses and builds pages for mobile first indexing. And what does mobile first indexing mean in a nutshell? It means simply this, that Google is indexing and displaying and teasing your site as it was designed for mobile, not as it was designed for desktop. Okay, and they are looking at the structure of your page, and it needs to basically look properly. They're checking bounce rates on mobile. We're up to 65% of page views are now loading in mobile. It actually flipped last year. It just went to 52%. It's now 65% of page views are in mobile. So if you notice, everybody else in the world reverses this and first goes desktop, laptop, iPad horizontal, iPad vertical, and mobile. We're actually putting the hierarchy of the way you design your pages in mobile. And we even tell you this right here. We advise starting with smaller screens and working your way up to larger widths. Okay, so the reason why we want you to start designing your page like this is, let's take a look here. this looks pretty good right here, right? It's on one line, but on a mobile device, it's on 3 lines. So watch what happens here. When I select this, okay, and I go over to the text and I change this to 2x, let's even, just for the sake of argument here, I'm going to move it to 1 line, okay? Now, watch what happens over here on the full size device. It's still large, so what I'm going to do now on my, so that's why we say start here, but when I go now to the larger device, okay, now it's saying only for devices over 1200. So we have pre-made these templates to where the fonts are all the same. But what I'm doing right now, let me actually do it this way. I have it looks pretty good for my mobile. Let's see how it looks on an iPad when it's vertical. A little bit too small, don't you think? So now I'm going to choose this element, and I'm going to make that text size
Hey,
2x.
Mike, have you considered a
Yes.
slider for text size?
Yes, we are. Yes, it's and by the way, for line height and line spacing, I have been asking Matt to do that. You know, so I can just see it. I can just drag it and see it in position. I don't care what the font size is. I just want to slide it until it leaps over and then go back over one. It is coming. It's definitely coming.
Awesome.
Maybe
I shouldn't have put you on the spot like that. Sorry.
No, that's a great feature request, right? And where do I get that, right? I'm a big fan of Canva, right? And when we work on a design like this, and you know, you see, well, they actually have it like this, right? But like just being able to do things in a slider is much better. So yeah, definitely, without a doubt, we're going to be putting both sliders. And I'll give you another example of something that I'm not happy with, believe it or not, right? Where are we? Where's my editor? Okay, I'm not happy with margins being like only like this. That would be spacing. I'm not happy that it's only a slider. I want to be able to go in here and type and put the number in and just type in 10, right? So little things like that, yeah, they're all going to be coming. All right, so let's go back here. So we start designing our site. How does it look for a mobile device? Then what I want to do is then go over to here and say, how does this look on an iPad when it's vertical? I think, and we just made it bigger. I'm going to try 3x. Let's see how that looks. Let's try 4x. Let's try 5x. Nope, 4x is good. Okay, so now let's try it when it's horizontal. And if you notice, it's still small on the mobile. This is what I want to show you. That's why you start small, and you're noticing it's adding little dots. It's telling you there's been a change that's been added. Now but that changes for the element. If I switch to another element, you see the dots are changing. It says there was a change that was made for the desktop. I'm going to give you more training on this. We're probably going to have a 20-minute video on this, but let's go back to just the text. And we have designed it for the mobile. We've designed it for the iPad when it's vertical. And let's see how it looks for the iPad when it's horizontal. I'm at, let's say 2x. Let's go to 4x because I forgot where it was. Let's go to 5x. A little too big. We'll leave this one at 4x. Now, let's go to a laptop. And you see it says when it's greater than 768, a laptop is any page when the browser, even if it's on a laptop or even on my computer, when the browser, you see, oh, look what just happened. Look what just happened. In my browser, it detected that the screen size went and it went to mobile. That's what I'm trying to show you here. It's detecting my browser. So that was beautiful that it's working there like that, right? So now I'm in
exactly
laptop mode.
Test responsiveness.
What's that?
Before this existed, where you could program, you could design specifically for devices. That's how we used to test responsiveness, by opening up a page in our browser and change our browser size.
This is true responsive design, literally in your browser. You're actually seeing it happen. You don't have to try it. Hey, somebody try this on an iPhone, an Android. We're doing it basically on the screen size. So I want to make this a little bit bigger even. Let's go 5x. Hey, let's see if I can go 6x. Nope, got a little bit too big for the laptop. And now we're going to go to the desktop. And this is a special exercise I'm doing here with you folks. Now this one, when it says size, what that means is it's just default. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go 7x, a little too big. I'm going to go 6x. I got away with it. On the desktop, it's 6x. On the laptop, that should be 5x here. Let me just see what happened here. It's a little buggy. Yeah, I'm finding a little bug here. Okay, now it seems to work. So we're at 6x here. On a laptop, we're at 5x. We are at 4x on an iPad when it's horizontal. When it's vertical, we're still at 4x. And on a mobile device, we're just at the extra large font. Okay, so what I want you to do, folks, is when you're designing your page, you know, when you pull the template up, let's do this. Let's just actually go to a regular template. And remember, what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to get rid of my navigation, okay? I'm going to hide these pages so that don't worry about what I'm doing right now. I'm just getting rid of the menu so that I can work on this page a little bit easier. What I want you to do, here's like a full template. I want you to actually look at your page and see how it looks in a mobile device. And guess what? This button doesn't look good here on mobile. So what I might do is I'm going to go to sizing, right? And I'm going to make the button a little bit smaller, right? But now I can go to my iPad. It looks too small. So I'm going to go to my sizing over here, and I'm going to make it a certain pixel, and I'm going to just drag it, Donna, that's what you wanted with the font, until it looks good. And then I'm going to do it on the iPad. Now, you folks may say to me, Mike, this is a little monotonous. It has to be, right? Because we are literally designing a page that is responsive. We have to know what happens when the page gets a little bit smaller. We want it to get responsive. So this has been an hour and a half on just the page builder. I'm going to do an audible here. I wanted to show you a ton of stuff, guys, on GrooveCell. And I'm just so excited to tell you, I'm going to defer to next Tuesday because I think it's an hour to do this. And I might go an hour and a half like we did, and then we're going to be here till 9 o'clock, okay? And so next Tuesday will be part 2. And I promise I'm going to show you everything that we've added in GrooveCell with the transactions. It's just absolutely some phenomenal stuff. Going to talk to you about the color coding, the filters, what we've done now with affiliates. It's just absolutely fantastic what you can do when you want to pay an affiliate and you process payments. We've added these things like cash advance. Sometimes you tell the affiliate, hey, I'm just going to give you $5,000 up front and we'll settle it out later. Your payment history, I'm going to give you an example, like our #1 affiliate. All I got to do is type in JERE and it's doing a search for everybody that starts with JERE. Or I could just do, I know he's also Promote Labs. I can type in promo, like that. And I don't even have to click search. There he is. I can type his email, partial email I can do, right? And when I go into that particular affiliate over here, what you'll notice is I've given Jeremy just cash advances. I told him, I'm going to pay you a week after you're done promoting. And I'll settle the refunds with him later. So look at this, a cash advance paid
You're
here.
so awesome. You can't help yourself.
Yeah, right. I'm telling them I'm going next week and I'm showing it, right? But I'm going to show you all of this stuff next week. There's some really, really good stuff. Donna, that was a very polite way of saying, Mike, you just said you're not going to do a demo. I know you very well, Donna. All this stuff is coming next week on top of what we're going to be talking about the marketplace and GrooveCell payments. And we just had a great call with PayPal today. Just some killer stuff. However, I do want to dedicate 15 to 20 minutes for you guys with some Q&A. Maybe Tom and Donna, you saw some questions that people asked. I'm going to leave this to the page builder. And 1 week from today, it will be at 7 o'clock next week Eastern, not 6 o'clock, because we have to do it a little bit later from that now. So next Thursday, you'll get the same notifications. If you're here, you'll get the notification. But we did go a little bit long. I wanted to slow things down a little bit, show you some of the cool features. Did you guys like some of the demos of the new features? Put a 1 in the chat for me.
I absolutely loved it, Mike. This was great.
Thank you, Matt. Nobi says, can you send me money, Mike? I'll pay you back sometime. Awesome. One, exciting, great stuff. One, fantastic. One, triple exclamations, 5 exclamations. Looks like it'll be awesome. Thanks, great. What is the best way to handle affiliates while you're still in beta? It works, guys. Well, the affiliate program works. I'll do a full demo for you next week, but you can use every single thing you need for affiliates right now, paying your affiliates, doing them in PayPal, Wire, and check. We're going to be adding Venmo and Zelle, and I think one other, Tipalti and things like that. In about 2 weeks, we're going to have just a complete unload of brand new stuff that's going to get pushed for GrooveShell. But there's a ton of stuff. If you haven't been in there in a week, all of the stuff that we've been working hard for our January launch that ended with January 5th, and then we pay people 45 days later, which is essentially tomorrow. We needed to get all this stuff, so it just went live like 2-3 days ago. So if you had a question like, how do I do that? Simply mind-blowing. Thanks, Mark. So Donna, Tom, did you guys see, John
Yes.
Garcia, Matt Smith? Yeah, hit me up with any questions you might have seen,
Yep,
and
so
I'll do
we've
some
got-
demos as it relates.
We knocked out most of the questions that we could, but there were 3 that I either couldn't answer or I thought we should take online. So
Great.
the first one is, can we add animations to an element?
So
Like a wiggle or bounce, or I thought I saw this somewhere, but I can't remember
it's
where.
coming. It's coming. So it's not there yet.
Okay.
And that will be there for launch, folks. I'm just going to show you. This is Kartra, and I'm not afraid to, show you, our previous company or anything like that, right? We designed this. Donna used to work with the company. I sold the company, and we're just, doing something. But this is basically was built with the, the free page builder. This stuff here is just preview, right? It doesn't work the way that we did. So Donna, you're talking about something like this. When you click here, they've added new icons. That's interesting. And we click edit style, I believe. They get this thing that opens up here. They made some changes here. And you click on effects, and then you can do some animations like fade. I'm just going to do preview, right? Zoom, slide from the left to the right. I have this already set to bounce. No, I guess not. There's bounce, there's flash, shake, flip horizontally. And you've seen this stuff in like Keynote and PowerPoint, right? So that's going to be there for you guys by June 1st. That is coming. It's on the list. It's one of the things that I like. There you go, Tom, MC of GrooveCon, right? And we're having GrooveCon. By the way, we're having GrooveCon built for us in as a template, which will be available to you. Basically, anything that we're doing for our company, groovedigital, we're doing that as a corporate brand site. We're just gonna take out our sales copy and just put Laura Ipsum like this, and even some of the people said on our team, hey, do you care that like all of our users are going to have sites that look like our brand at Genesis Digital, Groove Digital? And I said, no, I think that's fantastic. That literally shows that we're using our own templates, right? In other words, we didn't do something custom. We used a template that anybody in our library can do. Next question, Donna.
Will we be able to upload our custom fonts?
Oh, remind me about a killer thing I'm going to tell you guys in a minute. Short answer, yes. We're going to have a font installer for you to install your own custom fonts. Now, just so you know, you can do custom fonts right now simply by doing this, and you just go in here and you add your custom fonts here. But I know you want to have them here. So we're going to be adding a ton more Google fonts and basically all the Google fonts. And then we're also going to be having the fonts look like what you see is what you get. So you'll actually be able to preview the font. Just to give you an example of what we mean by that, when you go to Canva and you click on a font over here and you go like this, they open up the fonts with a preview. So we're going to have something along the lines where you get to see the fonts as they look. So both of those. The last question, Donna, and then I'll give away the killer. Don't hang up, guys. We got 30 seconds and I'm going to give you the most incredible news. You will literally, and I'm going to say this, and I don't care, I'm in a giddy mood, and it's an hour and a half into the call. You guys will shit your pants when you see it. Please forgive me, but that's how excited I am. All right, so Donna, last question.
So yeah, this one I knew the answer to, but I thought it's important that we read it online. I spoke to a friend earlier today about joining GroovePages. She has Shopify, and after I explained the benefits of what GrooveCart can do, she said she wants to sign up. Will she be able to get the offer that includes GroovePages, GrooveMail, and GrooveFunnels for $4.97? And if so, how do I get my affiliate link?
Okay, so two things. Number one, if you already have an account, you simply go right here. Let me close this so it doesn't confuse people. You get rid of all this. You go right here to the burger menu, and you drop down, and you click right here where it says Groove Partner Program. Okay, just click on that, and simply click on this top one right here, the default link, click copy, and that will send your friend to the secret backdoor, okay, with your affiliate link. And that's for anybody on this call, anybody. Okay, so, ready for the exciting news? We have done it, ladies and jelly beans. We have done it. We, it's a little complex, but it will be there for hopefully sooner than June 1st, but we're going live with it June 1st with a brand called GrooveFunnels. But hopefully it's there for you in about 6 weeks. What am I talking about? Probably the most incredible feature you guys could ever ask for. Am I playing this up? Am I doing a Captain Lou? This is stuff Captain Lou would do. Marketer's Cruise.
Double it up one more time. Take it to the top.
All right. Okay. And we have previously told you that this is not possible. Stop asking. It will never come. I'm rewinding. You will be able to import any single page that exists on the web into your GroovePages account. So please put some applause. Okay. Yay! What? You guys are freaking out, right? So, and VJ, I don't know if you meant what.
Right now, Mike.
Yeah. So you guys are no way. Holy moly! So guess what? You folks have asked if we could import your WordPress pages. No, we can't. Can we import your ClickFunnels pages? No, we can't. Can we import your lead funnels pages? No, we can't. We looked at it wrong, right? I'm going to give you a quick little story. And I don't know if this is true, but I've heard this story, right? Sometimes it's how you ask the questions can blind you, right, into the proper answer. And we kept thinking we had to import from your ClickFunnels account. And so there's a story about traffic being backed up, on a parkway where the overpass said, no vehicle higher than, let's say, 7.5 feet. And a tractor trailer was about 7 feet, 10 inches, 4 inches too tall. And it went right through the tunnel and it literally got stuck. And traffic was backed up for about 6 hours. And they're welding the top of they're welding the top of the truck off, because they can't even drag it out with a tow truck. And a little child said, "Mommy, why don't they just let the air out of the tires?" And sure enough, the parents went over and said to everybody there with a hard hat on, "Why don't you let the air out of the tires?" Went down 4 inches and they towed the vehicle right back out, right? So I tell that story because sometimes we look at things through a certain lens. We were thinking that we had to go into your ClickFunnels account and import the actual page and settings from your ClickFunnels account and your Kartra account and your WordPress or any site on the web. I'm almost ready to tell you that you can go to a competitor's website. What we're doing is we're simply just going like this. We're going into the site, and we're basically taking every section. So this is a live page, right? And we're going to basically take this section and we're going to say, okay, this is a layout column like this. This is an image, and this is this font, everything. And then we're going to import it, and then we're going to attach our attributes to make it do this. And you can go in and you'll be able to change the configuration instead of functionality, right? And we're going to basically import the page. Now, I'm going to be perfectly upfront with you. We will be able to import things like the alt tags and the hyperlinks. Certain things we're not going to be able to pull in And I'll give you an example, maybe something like a countdown timer, right? Because that is not something that's actually on the page. That's some JavaScript that's being called over to, ClickFunnels or something like that. But you will have the countdown timer, and then you'll just click like this. It will come onto your page. It won't work. You'll just have to go like this and configure it yourself, right? But who cares, right? You're essentially getting the page in. The navigation may not be an exact navigation bar, right? It may not understand that all those things are pages, but for the most part, you can delete that and rebuild it. But it is going to actually pull an actual page from the internet for you, and it'll have the exact color of the button. It'll have the exact styling of the button. Why? Because these things, okay, are known as basically, it's a web standard called CSS, right? So we're going to see that it is a background that's gray, that the font is this color and the border is round, and we're going to put that into our style sheet, and you'll be able to import any page in the world. So if you go and you see somebody like Grant Cardone or Rich Sheffrin, and they've got a really cool page, and you're like, I like that. What we're going to do is actually create, we're going to create a little Chrome plugin for you, or you can just paste the URL into the interface, but you'll be able to just import that directly into your page with a little feature, add a page, import by URL. It'll read for maybe 3 minutes, and then you'll have Rich Sheffrin or Grant Cardone or Frank Kern's page right here, and then you can go edit it. Of course, you have to be careful for copyright. You're not going to be able to use their text, but I don't know, and certainly their images, you might want to replace their images. You get that, right? Get rid of the images, get rid of the copy, but the layout of a page cannot be copyrighted. So you don't have to worry about that. So that wraps up the call. I'm just looking at some of the stuff you're saying. Haha, that's amazing paradigm shift. I'm using
Mike, this
Convertri for
takes away, like you said, like, hey, go take a designer, go look at this Grant Cardone page and build me a page like this. And now you have to pay. I mean, for an intricate page, you'll pay some hefty money to do that. Now that eliminates that. This is huge.
Oh yeah, if you're an agency, that
Super
people are going to love that, right? So and so now if you see something out of the ClickFunnels marketplace, you can click preview, or the optimized press marketplace, or preview sites over at Theme Forest, preview websites over at Squarespace, Wix, right? You see it, just go grab it, right? So that might even help us even be able to pull templates in rapidly. Now, Letty Greenwood says, isn't that illegal? Remember, you want to change the copy. You want to change your picture from Grant Cardone's. And remember, at that point, move your YouTube video, right? You might want to maybe put that in a different spot, change the button colors. We didn't get into some of these things here, right? But maybe your brand site, I'm going to go out of expert mode and see if that's a little bit easier. Yes, maybe your brand site, the background is, red, right? And then maybe you don't need this section right here, so you delete that. And you don't need this, this section over here. And now you drag in some of your own blocks over here. Like, let me add, our team here, who's, the team who's responsible for this software, right? So you can make the site your own when you're said and done. It's basically a layout. You're going to come in here, change this picture. How? By choosing functionality and going into here and looking for let's just see, I don't know how this is going to look, but let's take a look. I didn't remove my background. I'd have to remove the background. I would do that. Donna, what's the name of the website that removes the background?
Remove.bg.
So look at this. I go to remove.bg. This is not us. This is just a little tool I'm showing you. I'm just going to upload an image, and I'm just going to type in Mike and see what comes up. And do we see any pictures of me? Okay, let's do this one. I'm going to take that and preparing to upload. It's going to remove the background. Now I'm going to download that, and I believe it just gave me a new one. So we're actually going to go back to that page now. I think this is the preview. This is another preview, and this is the actual page. Let's redo that and upload our own image. And then we're going to wrap this call up. We're going to go to my downloads and see the new image it just gave me here. And I'm going to now click the upload to our library because I got the preview. Now we've uploaded. You see there's no background here where this one does. So I select this like that. I click select. I click update. Ha, 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 ha. And now I can change my spacing. They don't have enough stuff. So I'm going to go to the export mode here. And I'm going to go to spacing and click this top padding here and just move that down like that. So, did you guys just learn something cool? Right? I obviously didn't pick the best picture. Is that Daniel Ramos says cool. So that wraps up the call. I wanted to show you how you can get like your own picture and remove the background and get it on on the web and things like that. So Letty says very cool. So Letty, who asked, is that illegal? She's starting to see how it's about changing the colors and make you're getting a layout and then making it your own. I would definitely say yes. Spend a little time making your own. Warren says nice. Nobby Kleinman says very nice. Not the picture, of course. Wink face. We're gonna leave it at that. Thanks very much. I love you guys teasing. I want to thank my partner Matt Soralta, the awesome Donna Fox, our new trainer that will be here every Thursday with you, come hell or high water. The amazing Tom Beal, who I'm going to be seeing at Rich Sheffrin's this in a couple of days, and of course John Garcia, who does our trainings for us. John, we didn't even tell you yet. We haven't even told you. We are going to be building the Groove Digital store, and we have so much stuff going on that we don't have the time to do it. So when you're done with your training, what we're going to do is we're going to do either a 4 or a 6 week, and it'll take us 12 hours. You and me and Matt Soralta and Donna and you will get on a call every Thursday for the Groove Cart portion, and we're going to do an actual training from scratch, and we're going to build our Groove Digital store for all of our swag, our sweatshirts and t-shirts, and we're literally going to build them with Layer App and Tscape and literally build a store from scratch. And in 6 weeks, people will be able to watch how we build an entire e-commerce store that with our upsells and everything, because we want to do it for ourselves and we just don't have the time. And we said, hey, so many people would love this look over the shoulder. So John didn't even tell you that. So folks, that wraps it up. I'm going to turn it over to the other members of the team to say goodbye and sign us out. And this recording will be in the Facebook group. John Garcia usually gets them up there at about 3 to 4 hours from now. If not, it'll definitely be up there tomorrow. So for me, have a great day, everybody. I've got a 3.5 hour ride to the East Coast of Florida. It's been a pleasure. As I told you, we were going to go 2 hours. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m., not 6 p.m., we're going to be doing a full version on GrooveCell. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll leave it to the other team members to sign us out.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mike. Man, holy cow. Guys, you see how much is being done on a daily basis here. Mike just outlined. My head's spinning. I'm sure your head's spinning. Donna, was this awesome or what?
It was fantastic. It's so great. I love this software so much. It's really just a pleasure and a joy, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So same time, same place. Actually, different time. Sorry about that. 7 p.m. on Tuesday.
7 p.m. Right.
Next Tuesday. And then
this Thursday at
6
p.m.
Thursday, 6 p.m. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Matt, good to see you here. John, good to see you here. Donna, as always, good to see you, have you here. And we're out. Anything else to add, Donna?
No, that's all. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye,
everyone.
Remember,
Bye.
the webinar, the replay will be tonight. I'm going to try to make sure that it's on tonight on the website, and the link will be there with the new area on the Groove Code Academy. Now, everybody has 2 areas in the Groove Code Academy. One area is specifically for GroovePages, GrooveFunnels, and Groove Cart. So be on the lookout for that.
Cool.
And have a great night.
XOXO. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.